Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, the award-winning Amazon merchant and best-selling author from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello there, Amazon sellers. My name is Jordan Malik. I'm the host of the Ask Jordan podcast. This is our 40th episode. So much progress we've made. We only started in mid-March of 2014. It's now about 4 or 5 months later, and we've hit about 40,000 downloads thanks to you, the listener. So that's on average, I guess, 1,000 downloads per episode, and I'm flattered. Where this isn't the world's biggest podcast, of course, but I am extremely happy that we've had the progress we've had, and that's all because of you. This show is about you. It's not a platform for me to hear myself talk. I don't like to hear my voice. I just like to help and answer questions and something a little different as opposed to hearing an hour and a half podcast talking about different subjects, or some of these spree casts that are happening are 2 hours long and a lot of goofing off. And this, I wanted to provide something that somebody can download and listen to and learn something new and move on with their day. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. It's an honor to be part of your world. I hope you are safe. A lot of things happening in our world today that make the world feel a little bit different these days than what you and I are used to. So I hope that you and your loved ones are safe and happy, and that you're having a great time learning about selling on Amazon, selling products on Amazon, etc. If you're joining us for the first time, please welcome. And we only answer your questions about selling on Amazon. If you've missed an episode, please go to AskJordan.net. We have our current and previous episodes on there. AskJordan.net. You can get a link to the iTunes store where you can download them for free. You can listen to them right there at AskJordan.net, or you can get the link for the YouTube channel where we have the video versions of the podcast, all of them. If you want to hear your voice on an episode and get 7 of my best-selling ebooks 100% free, I'll tell you how to do that after we answer today's question. And today's question is from Jet. Go ahead, Jet.
Hello, Mr. Jordan Malik. My name is Jet, J-E-T, Jet like a jet airplane, or New York Jet for Jet Li. Calling you from the Sunshine State of Florida. First of all, I love your podcast. I love the short format, chewable golden nuggets. And I just devoured all of the episodes, and tons of values that I've learned from your podcast. So thank you for that. I guess my question is, I've been drop shipping now for about 6 months, and sales are coming through. But as we all know, and as I keep on hearing from e-commerce podcasts, that drop shipping is kind of dying. And if I'm not mistaken, in one of your episodes, I guess it was episode 14, that you passingly mentioned about, fulfilling a drop shipping site order through your FBA account. Just like you always recommend, I'm diversifying now, so I'm dabbling into Amazon FBA, or starting to get into that business to diversify. So my question is the niche that I chose for my Amazon account is very much related to the niche that I'm doing or selling in my drop shipping sites. And I thought that, hey, if my customers there on my drop shipping site is, interested in that product, they might also be interested in the product that I'm selling on Amazon. So I'm planning to upload that product on my drop shipping site. And if that order, if there's an order for that product on my drop shipping site, the same product that I sell on Amazon, how can I fulfill that order through my FBA account, since all of those products are already in the Amazon warehouse? So how do I transfer that order to Amazon so that Amazon can fulfill that order? Again, thank you so much for what you do. Keep doing what you're doing. Love what you do, and keep adding value to all your listeners. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Jet, I appreciate and admire your enthusiasm. You sound like a very enthusiastic person. And thank you very much for bringing up that topic, let's just differentiate a little bit for the listeners who don't know, Jet, about drop shipping in general. Let's forget about Amazon for a minute. Many listeners that are listening to this podcast, and many people that want to get into e-commerce or selling products online, will jump to a service that says, drop ship our products and make a lot of money. If you do a search online, Google, you do a search for drop shipping or drop shipping business or whatever. My suggestion is for anybody is to avoid those. Drop shipping, in general, I'm generalizing, is a money-losing proposition. When you sign up for one of these programs that you see after you do a Google search, and I'm not going to mention the company names, but you sign up to be a drop shipper for these items. The reason why it's generally a money-losing proposition and much riskier than, say, just selling physical products on Amazon is because people jump on these websites, they pay $39.95 or whatever, they buy products or they put the products on eBay. It's a very low barrier to entry, meaning anybody can do drop shipping. And if you're a kid sitting in a basement on a computer in China, you can drop ship items, right? And by drop shipping, they find an item somewhere on a website and they say to themselves, okay, I can sell this on eBay. And they put the product on eBay, and when there's a sale, they pay for the product on the drop shipping site and have the item drop shipped from that company who owns the drop shipping service to the end customer. Okay, and it's a business that's filled with fraud. It's filled with very extremely low margins. It's a very low barrier to entry, meaning anybody can do it, and that squeezes you as a competitor to keep lowering your prices. I've kicked the tires. There's just no money in it to make any significant income, and even the significant income that can be made, it's still extremely risky. Amazon will not let you drop ship a product to an end customer. Let's just get that out of the way. So you cannot go to Amazon and post a product and then drop ship it when the product is actually sold. So let's say you go to Amazon.com and you see, a Peanut Snoopy beach ball on sale. You cannot post that as a seller and say, I have that in stock, then wait for the sale and have it drop shipped from a supplier. If you do get away with it, you're violating Amazon's terms and conditions. And if you're an Amazon FBA seller, meaning you ship your products to Amazon and then have Amazon sell that from their warehouses, that's physically impossible. You cannot, the item has to be physically in Amazon's warehouse. So it's not like you can upload a product to Amazon and say, I want you to sell this via FBA so the customer gets 2-day shipping and all that, and then magically make the item ship after it's sold to the end customer with a drop shipper. You just can't do that. So that's the drop shipping that I strongly suggest to anybody and everybody listening that you avoid. Now let's talk about what Jet called about, and that was using Amazon as a drop shipper of products, which is feasible and can be done if you've sold the product itself via another website like eBay or your own online store. Now, I don't personally see a lot of advantage to using Amazon to drop ship items when it's sold through another venue. And as I explain, I'll explain that as I discuss it. As long as you're an Amazon FBA seller, you can use their fulfillment service to ship products directly to the customer without the customer going on Amazon.com. So let's say, Jet, you have jetsbeachballs.com website. Or you have selling your own beach balls on eBay. And somebody places an order for that. Okay, and they pay for the beach ball, and you have the beach balls as an FBA merchant stored in Amazon's warehouse. You can log in to your Seller Central account and go into your inventory and ship directly from the inventory sitting on Amazon directly to that end customer. Now, there's a couple things that are drawbacks here if you are going to consider this seriously. The first drawback is that there's going to be Amazon.com branding on the box and the email receipt, the printout receipt. So the customer buys it from jetsbeachballs.com or the customer buys it from eBay and you ship the product, they're going to get it in an Amazon box and the receipt inside, you can make the receipt look like a gift receipt so the price isn't shown. And it'll have the Amazon logo on it saying your order was shipped by Amazon. If you want to automatically have Amazon send an email receipt for the purchase to the buyer, you can do that. You can customize an email receipt, but it's going to say the email is going to come from Amazon.com. So I don't see the advantage of using Amazon to fulfill orders unless you're in a bind and you're doing a high volume of purchases. If you already have a website that's up and running, and getting a lot of orders, why not have all the orders fulfilled using one interface, meaning the Amazon seller interface, versus doing the shipments on your own? So if you're a high volume website that's doing transactions on your website, yes, I see the advantages of, in that regard, in streamlining your operations by having Amazon manually logging into Amazon and having the orders sent directly from Amazon to the end buyer. The couple drawbacks is the Amazon branding in the email receipt and on the box and the printed receipt, because the advantage of sending it, the advantage of getting your website's own sales or eBay sales, then you can start playing with pricing to make it priced higher than what the Amazon.com price is, because the reason why you want to raise your price on the eBay listing or the your website listing for the beach ball is because it's going to cost you to have Amazon fill that order. I just had Amazon drop ship an order to me. So I sent in backpacks and I sent in like 20 backpacks, like a themed backpack. And after I sent them in, I noticed that the photograph, I think, was removed by Amazon of the listing because whoever created the original listing on Amazon had a bad photograph on there. So I need to take a photograph myself since I'm also selling the item. I want to take my own photograph according to Amazon's criteria and post the photograph to that listing on Amazon. So I had to have Amazon send an item back to me. I think for 2-day shipping, it cost me like $13. So I essentially drop shipped an item just like I was going to send the item using the Amazon interface to any customer. I just sent the item to myself. And for me to get 2 days shipping and on top of the fulfillment fees, I think it came to like $13. And so if you start selling products on other websites that you're fulfilling with Amazon, you have to price them accordingly to absorb those fees. And the problem is when the end customer pays $39.95 for the beach ball that you're selling, and they bought it from eBay or they bought it from jetsbeachballs.com, and then they get the box with Amazon product in it, you better hope that your beach ball is not priced less than $39.95 on Amazon.com. Because if it is, the customer's going to be like, what the heck is this? I just paid $39.95, but I just saw it on Amazon for $32.95. Where did I get ripped off? By paying more. So see, that's another drawback that you have to kind of keep your eye on the ball. So the efficiencies may outweigh that. If you're doing a large volume of product selling on eBay or your website or both, your personal website or both, then yes, having everything stored in one place, meaning the Amazon fulfillment warehouse, and having it shipped directly to the customer from Amazon, those efficiencies, the cost savings from those efficiencies may outweigh the added cost for you to send the item. But those are things that you have to be careful of, is if the customer gets hip to what they're doing. Now, if Amazon was, what I predict Amazon will eventually someday do, is Amazon will let you as a third-party merchant buy a service where it's called a plain brown box or whatever. So the end customer has no idea it's come from Amazon's fulfillment warehouses, except maybe for the return address. The return address may be some name and then the same address as the fulfillment warehouse. So if Amazon may seek that as a way for them to make extra money from us, the third-party merchants, by providing a fulfillment service that has no Amazon branding on it. And then that makes it much more appealing. And third-party merchants like you and me might say, hey, I'll pay an extra $200 to have that or whatever it is. But right now, I don't see the advantage to it for most small sellers, unless you're a bigger seller, and you're doing so much volume that you need to start consolidating your operations. There's no need to have 2 fulfillment centers, meaning your own fulfillment of the product from your website or eBay or what have you, and Amazon. You just might as well have one. But there's that cost factor. It does cost money to have that product shipped. Amazon doesn't take a commission of the sale. They don't do that. They assign merchant fees and pick and pack fees and the shipping charge. And you have to pay for those, like I had to pay for mine. But Jet, let me give you 2 links. This video is going to help you visualize how the fulfillment services work on Amazon. When you sell a product, in my example, it's eBay, and I had Amazon fulfill the order for me, and I walked through it. The video is a little bit older; it's a couple 3 years old, but it still applies today. So it's bit.ly AMAZ, D as in drop, S as in ship, and the number 2. bit.ly/AMAZ, D as in dog, S as in sterile, the number 2. The other link that describes the official Amazon page, describes their merchant fulfillment service and how it works. It's an excellent page. Is the same exact URL, but the number 1 at the end instead of number 2. So bit.ly/AMAZDS and the number 1. And you can find those links if you go back to the original page where you found this podcast. You can see those links there. You can click on them. Jet, great question. Thank you very much, and thanks for your enthusiasm. Jet gets all 7 of my ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. Jet, just go to AskJordan.net, click on the small envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner. Send me an email so I know where to send your ebooks to. If you, the listener, want to submit a question to the podcast and have a chance to win all my best-selling ebooks like Jet and hear your voice on my podcast just like Jet, then call with your question at 516-619-ONLINE. It's 516-619-6654. And that's a pre-recorded, you just leave a voicemail with your question. It's not like a live person you're talking to. Or go to AskJordan.net and scroll down, look for the directions on submitting your question. Hey, thanks for listening. This has been the Ask Jordan Podcast. I'll see you again in our next episode.